What's going on, guys? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the graveyard. Today I have my updated Undead Army, also known as the Summoner, PvP build. This is a purebred Necromancer build, and it is going to be a super short, super quick, just a real quick guide through what I've changed, and that is going with the skills and the back bar set. Still utilizing the purebred Necromancer. This is my favorite playstyle to play. As you can see in the video, it is still super aggressive and super competitive, along with the current meta, which is pretty much Rallying Cry and Null Arca. But if you like something that is a bit different and out there with the role-playing playstyle of PvP, then this build is for you. So looking at the front bar, we still have the Lightning Staff of Ritualist. We are using 5-piece Ritualist on this set. This is all about our summoned pets, also known as the Summoner. And then it's going to increase the damage of those by 20%. And then giving us a nice 2, 3, 4 piece as well. Back bar, I swapped to Mars Balm. Mars Balm is very nice to have on this build because it's giving us the increased physical and spell resistance, along with a little bit of critical resistance as well. And then while we're on the back bar, we're going to have increased healing taken, and then our cleanse, which is the Necromancer hexproof, or expunge and modify. Anytime we remove a negative effect, we're going to get some health back, and then our expunge and modify is also going to give us magic and stamina back as well. And we can get into that as soon as we get into the skills. Maw of the Infernal, this is a summoning build, so this is very appropriate to have. Frank the Tank here can get up to around 3,800, if not 4k damage every 2 seconds. It's a very nice damage over time. He is untargetable. Gives us 129 weapon and spell damage on the one piece, so that's very useful as well. And then pretty much it's up 100% of the time because it's up for 15 seconds and it lasts for 15 seconds. So as long as you're dealing damage with a light or heavy attack, which you should be if you're light attack weaving in between your skills, this guy pretty much appears and he fucks shit up. Curse of the Trainee, of course, max health, why not? And then on the body we have 4 heavy, 2 medium, 1 light. Mars Balm Griddle, Gauntlets, Greaves, and then Ritualist Shoes. So light, heavy, 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 medium, heavy, medium. And then our jewelry is the Ritualist Necklace and Ring, and then Monomyth Reforged. It's pretty much your best in slot for a Mythic. I wouldn't really pass anything up. I wouldn't pass this up and use anything else, just simply because the Major Force and Minor Berserk combo alone is super nice. And then you really don't understand the benefit of having both major and minor protection on the back bar with a Necromancer until you try it. And that's simply just because they are naturally tanky. So having both of those on top of the Spirit Mender it's pretty much unkillable. But when I say that, I mean, like, you have a very difficult time getting put down. Everybody dies in this game. You're not going to be invincible, but it is a super fun way to play because people focus you, and you kind of have to play a little bit smarter, but it is fun. All right, jumping into the skills here, we have Necrotic Potency. We have 6 ultimate per corpse siphoned. And then that is going to give us some juicy healing across the board. It scales off our max health. The higher our health, the more the heal. And since we're running Mars Balm, we do have quite a bit of health on this build as well. It's free. And while slotted, we have passively 3% reduced damage taken. Detonating Siphon, another free skill. It's a nice dot. It's going to give us our Major Savagery and Prophecy. It's going to do some disease damage whenever we siphon a corpse, and then you can spam this too as long as there's a couple of corpses on the ground. It's free real estate, why not? It actually hits pretty hard too. So if you are in your Skull, Blastbone, Detonating Siphon rotation, you can get like 3, 4, 5 corpses on the ground, and then you can spam this if you want. But you don't have to really worry about resources because a lot of our skills are free, and then Venom Skull and Bladed Blastbones are going to be our 2 main stam using skills. Remote Totem, CC for the build. It's a very nice CC. It is AoE crowd control. It's going to hit the enemies with Major Cowardice, which is going to reduce their weapon and spell damage by 430. And then this also chunks into their healing. And then every 2 seconds, it's going to go off and apply a fear, which is very nice. I like to place this pretty much anywhere on the battlefield. And then as long as this guy is going off, I'll stand in it to get the minor protection. And people try to avoid you, but if they are melee, of course, they're going to have to come in, and then they'll get CC'd no matter what. Next up, Venom Skull. This is a very nice damage ability. It costs stamina. It does poison damage, proccing the poison status effect, which is basically execute scaling, and then every third cast we're going to get 50% increased damage. But the nice thing about this is now it is going to provide us a corpse, so we can easily do our Skull, Blast Bone, Detonating Siphon rotation. So what I do is I start off with a Venom Skull, then I go into a Blast Bones, and then Venom Skull again. Blast Bones goes off, then you can Siphon. Blast Bones, Siphon, Skull. Blast Bones, Siphon, Skull. Blast Bones, Siphon, Skull. And then once you have a couple of corpses on the ground, you can just spam the Siphon. It does great damage. And it's free. Blast Bones, of course, don't really have to talk about this too much. It's 569, and then it goes down even more when our armor is up. But major reminder to file, very useful to have. Animate Blast Bones, this is going to summon 3 Blighted Blast Bones. And then while those are up, you can summon your Blighted Blast Bones yourself, having 4 total. So hopefully everybody's feared before you do that, and then you're going to have 4 Blighted Blast Bones, each with a 15k tooltip attached to it, and everybody's going to detonate. Super fun, super aggressive playstyle, the Undead Army. Looking at the back bar, we have the Temporal Guard, just for the minor protection, stacks with Monomyth. Spirit Guardian, this is our damage mitigation, 10% increased, 10% reduced damage. Transfer to the Spirit, this also stacks with major and minor protection, because it is a unique 10%. Summoner's Armor, reducing all the cost of our summons by 15%, so Skelly Arc, our Spirit Guardian, and our Blighted Blast Bones. And then it's also going to give us major and minor resolve at the same time. There's a crap ton of utility packed into one skill. And then it's got a nice little buff that Zoss gave us, and that is giving us a corpse every 10 seconds while in combat. So technically it's kind of like Nobility and Decay, and if you wanted to, you could run Nobility and Decay and then have 2 corpses on you, which is super helpful with Animate Blast Bones. But I don't play like that, just simply because I like Mars Bomb for Expunge and Modify. You could use Hexproof or this one. I like this one because it gives us our stats, and then once we have 2 negative effects on us, we can we can cleanse them, giving us 1030 Magicka and stamina per global cooldown. So if you have like 5 or 6 negative effects on you, you tap this 3 times and you really don't notice the health, because you have a crap ton of healing from Spirit Guardian, and then if you happen to have Necrotic Potency going at the same time, Healing Soul is going to give us major vitality and a burst heal, so it's going to be boosting all of our heals by an additional 12%. You don't feel the health cost of this nearly at all. And I actually use this at low health as well too, because it's going to give us a burst heal technically, because on our back bar set, if you look, Mara's Balm is going to give you 1128 health when a negative effect is removed from you. So it's kind of turning Hexproof or Expunge and Modify into a heal, which is nice, because you're almost eating the cost of the skill itself. If you had Hexproof, you would be pretty much eliminating the cost because of the difference between the health cost of this and the heal that you would get from Mara's because of major vitality, and basically making it a free skill. So very useful, nice way to play. It's unique. Skeletal Arcanist, major sorcery and brutality buff, and then our Skelly Arch gets like 2100 or 2200 shock damage every 2 seconds when we swap to our front bar. Gives us a corpse, so does Spirit Guardian. And then Healing Soul, I already talked about this. It's our burst heal. It's heal over time. That's what I chose for the affix, and then major vitality. Alright guys, that is the sets and the skills. Just looking at the character sheet here, you can see that all of our max stats are pretty high. Our Magicka and Stamina recovery aren't very important because we have so many ways of getting our recoveries, and those are the pots and our passives. So if you look at our pots here, we have all 3 recoveries, and then when we siphon a corpse, and then have our summons up here. On the back bar, we have almost 1500 stam recovery, and then Magicka recovery is just around 1000, and health recovery is 1300. This is very nice because the majority of our skills are reduced cost because we are an Imperial on this build. So everything's cheap to begin with, and then we're reducing the cost of our summons with bone armor. And then a lot of our skills are free, especially the ones in the front bar. And then our main damaging skills cost stamina. So you can see our Blighted Blast Bones only cost 496 stamina. And I'll sit here and I'll just go through a couple of my skills and just go through the rotation. And you can basically see how nothing really is affected by our resources. So I'm just going through the combo here. This is my rotation that I generally do. Blast Bones, Detonating Siphon, Venom Skull. Blast Bones, Detonating Siphon, Venom Skull. And then you can summon your Animate Blast Bones. We're not even really touching our resources. I'll swap to the back bar. I'll redo all of our summons here. Give ourselves a bit of healing here. I'll hit this 3 times. Why not? And then back to the front bar. We're not even using our stamina anymore. And our stamina can nicely go up safely. Throw out a totem if we want to. So I'm going through pretty much every skill that I have on this build, and we're not really getting through our resources. So super helpful. Also, you can see in the character sheet here, we have 34 max health, 24 and 25k max stamina and max magic. We're using the Serpent just to pretty much top off our stamina at all times, since it is our main damage focus. And then we are using the Bewitched Sugar Skulls, and yeah, that's it. Looking at the CP, not super important, but if you want to see what I have, the Blue Tree, Master at Arms, Focus Mending, Fighting Finesse, Resilience. Red Tree, Balanced Vitality, Fortified, Pain's Refuge, Survival Instincts. Alright guys, that is a build in a nutshell. It's just slightly updated for update 48 and 49. We won't see another patch until about February, March-ish. So I'm very happy with the way this came out. I like Mars Bomb a lot. It's nice to bring back old sets and still make them work. Alright guys, I will post this sometime either this weekend or later in the week. With that being said, if you liked this video, give it a thumbs up. Please share it. It helps out the channel a lot. And then if you haven't already, definitely join the Discord where you can stay updated when I go live for the Elder Scrolls Online and VR nights. VR nights are Tuesdays and Thursdays, and the Elder Scrolls Online streams are Monday, Wednesday, Fridays. Peace out. Stay frosty, and I'll see you in the graveyard.